Hi everyone. I'm going to tell you a lot of things that were not said in any of the other YouTube videos that I watched about how to do an automatic transmission fluid drain and fill in a 8th generation Honda Civic. That's a 2006 to 2011 Honda Civic. Starting with I'm going to tell you at least 6 different things that I didn't hear in the other YouTube videos. How much did I pay for this stuff on Marketplace? Number 2, where exactly did I jack this thing up? Number 3, where exactly did I put the drain pan so that the fluid, the projectile of the fluid wouldn't land all over the driveway? Number 4, where exactly is the drain plug? Because a lot of the YouTube videos that I watched, they just start loosening the drain plug. They don't say exactly where it is. It's not that hard to find. You can find it in a couple minutes, but it would be so much easier if someone just told you this is exactly where it is, and you can just go right there with confidence and not have to question yourself. Number 5, what to do if your muscular force doesn't seem to be enough to loosen the drain plug, okay? So in my case, we haven't done a transmission fluid change on this for 7 years since we got the thing. Who knows when the last transmission fluid change was done from the previous owner. And we live in Canada with a lot of snow, rust, salt. It was really stuck, and you really don't want to strip that thing. So what can you do what can you do with minimal tools in order to loosen it when it seems to be stuck? And the last thing I'll tell you, which is the simplest and maybe the most valuable advice here, what to do with the transmission fluid after it has been drained out. Don't take it to the dump. Don't mix it with your old motor oil and take it to the dump. That's a waste, okay? I'm going to save you so much money here, okay? So how much does this bottle of WD-40 cost? Sometimes it costs like, I don't know, $10. And when I'm using it, it says, they often say, apply liberally. There's a lot of rust. You want to use a lot, but at the same time, you're hesitating, you're holding back because it's so expensive. You don't want to use too much. This stuff, I don't know, it's $10 for maybe 1/5 of a liter. And a lot of people say that the best rust penetrant is not WD-40 or PB Blaster. It is automatic transmission fluid mixed with acetone. You can do your own research on this if you want, but a lot of people say that that is the best rust penetrant. So it's better than WD-40, and it costs almost zero, because we're going to get liters of this stuff out every time we do a drain and fill. So don't take that to the dump. Reuse it. It's going to save you so much money. You can then use as much rust penetrant as you want. You made it yourself at home using used automatic transmission fluid that wouldn't have been used for anything else. I did research about what else it could be used for, and yeah, it could be used for lubricating other things, but basically the most useful thing is probably rust penetrant, because if you live in a place with a lot of rust, like in Canada or upstate New York, upstate Michigan, then certainly you're going to need a lot of rust penetrant. And it's just nice to have an abundance of things sometimes. Like if you buy a lot of soap for a very low price, then you can use as much of it as you want, not feel guilty about how much money you're using here. So that is the last thing I wanted to say. I've already said it, what to do with the used automatic transmission fluid. The second thing, okay, I'll talk about where I jacked it up. That might save you some time here. I used this quick service jack here. That's the quickest way to jack it up. I don't like using those scissor jacks. Now, you can put it up on ramps. That's probably the best thing to do, but I didn't have my ramps here, so I ended up using the quick service jack. I first jacked it up. This is the proper place to jack it at the front. You can do it on the side, but you can damage your pinch welds that way, and you can damage your rocker panels and stuff. So just put it here. You're never going to damage it if you do it properly over here. So there's 3 holes, 1, 2, 3. It's the middle hole. There's often a plastic cover over here that goes up to there. There's an arrow that points to that hole, and you can also see that arrow from above the hood. When you open the hood from the top, you can see that arrow, and you can line it up with someone looking at the top. But I don't have that plastic cover with the arrow anymore, so I jacked it up over there. Now, jacking it up over there, I didn't have much space for my arm to pull this ratchet, so I ended up putting it down. I put it up on these 2 stands. You really should have 2 jack stands, like 2 of these blue stands. My other blue stand is 400 kilometers away right now, so I ended up using that jack. Don't worry, I'm not using this, I'm not having it jacked up for very long, so I can jack it up like that for just a short amount of time. So once I had it up on those two jack stands, then so these jack stands, you see this thing, you can put it under there. I've done that many, many times, but I ended up putting it over here instead, which is perfectly fine. And same over here. So I just put it over here. And once I had it on those two jack stands, I actually lowered the jack. Then I don't remember exactly why I did this, but I actually jacked it up again over here. I put the jack over there, maybe as a third support in case it falls down or something. But then the oil pan was actually not able to be positioned in the right spot, so fluid would be dropping on the driveway. So I just removed the jack entirely and just had it on these two stands. You could also have it on two ramps. So I've talked about where to jack it. I've talked about what to do with the used transmission fluid. The third thing I'll say is where exactly is the drain plug. So this is a Canadian car. We drive on the right side of the road. So the driver's side, this is the driver's side. Okay. Okay, you know where the driver's side is in Canada. I don't have to explain that. The transmission is on the driver's side in a Canadian or American Honda Civic. Okay, so that's the passenger side. We have the oil pan. Driver's side, we have the transmission. And where exactly is it? So go as far forward as you can, like towards the front of the car. And you have this little thing, which is not what we're looking for. Let me put some light here. Oh, the flashlight turned off. Oh no, the flashlight is on. Okay, so we have the drain plug right there. So it's towards the center of the vehicle, not towards the wheel, but towards the center. And it's pretty much as far forward as you can go in the transmission, but not this far forward. So just right over there. That is where you put it. When you put that ratchet on there, it might not go in completely at first. It might feel like you have it as far as it can go, but it's not quite in there. You should be able to get it pretty much flush into there. It might take a while to get it in there, but it does go in there pretty much completely. So that is the location. Now what to do if you're pulling and it doesn't move. Okay, so first of all, I'm using this 3/8 inch ratchet. That's the size that we're supposed to use. And that's basically the middle ratchet in this set of three. This is the 1/2 inch. The 3/8 inch is what's over there. And then so sometimes you have three ratchets, a small, medium, and big. I'm using the medium one. Now, a lot of people in these YouTube videos, they use the big ratchet and then an adapter to get 3/8 inches over there. Now, I don't have that adapter, so I didn't have the luxury of using a big ratchet here. I also don't have a pipe that I can put at the end of this or a breaker bar or anything. I was just using the middle-sized ratchet, and it was pretty hard for me. Well, I ended up doing what I do often for this type of thing. I was